Peace, family. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, 4:30 p.m. AVEE-ASHANTI, your brother, Black Lives Matter organizer, representing the people, and more than anything, the youth. Today, we did first of all, I'd like to thank everybody who showed up for the protest, all the supporters, all the people who came out and made their presence felt and made their voices heard, because that is exactly what has to be done in order to disrupt the going-ons, the regular business as usual in the city of Birmingham. In my young activist life, what I've realized very quickly is that the city of Birmingham is clicked up, and it is a new good old boy network. It used to be a good old boy network with Caucasians with a stronghold over African Americans, but today African Americans has moved in those places and took a stronghold over African Americans. What am I saying? I'm saying that black on black crime exists at the highest offices in the city of Birmingham, but the only thing they don't talk about and tell us about is the black on black crime that exists in the neighborhoods and the communities. When you have a police chief, a mayor, who will conspire to put down racial profiling and mass incarceration of our youth for a check, that is murder, that is attack, that is assault, that is everything that you can think of against our own youth, against our children. At the protest today, we had a benefit. We had the French benefit of being able to address and talk to a lot of the youth that was out there, that was doing their school tours, bus tours, coming in from different cities and places and different states. We was able to engage them and give them some real current affairs. As we know that the schools teach current affairs, but they teach you about history. They don't teach you what's going on in the present, what's going on right now. And because the past, is nothing you can do about that except read about it and reflect on it. But the current situations, the situations that we can very much have an effect on, are the situations that they keep hidden away from us, as they did today in Birmingham, Alabama, by having this meeting, this conspired meeting in the back halls of the City Civil Rights Museum. I think it's very ironic that they chose to meet, maybe very deliberate, that they chose to meet in the Civil Rights Institute to conspire to violate the citizens' civil rights. Let me say that again. They met at the Civil Rights Institute to conspire to violate the citizens' civil rights. Now, I had an incident today. An incident that occurred, and this is just to show you the framework of what we're dealing with when we talk about the police. And we always, of course, they're gonna come in, and I'm gonna be a hater of police, and the police gonna be the best thing that God put on the earth when those who refuse to deal with the reality or the truth hear what I'm about to say. My daughter, I had my daughter with me. She's 7 years old. I had my son, who's 6 years old. I also had my 17-year-old son. All of them was with me today at the protest. And of course, it was hot, 90-something degrees outside. So my daughter and my son was playing in the foyer in the front of the Civil Rights Institute. And a police officer, a black female police officer, elder police officer, told my daughter, 7 years old, that she couldn't stand or sit in the shade where she was sitting at because she had on a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. She had to leave from under the foyer, under the shade, and go out in the sun because she had a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on. Now, keep in mind that there are other children under this foyer. There are other people under this foyer with all different type of shirts on, with different type of representations from whatever schools they're from, to Girl Scouts, to whatever. And that was not an issue. But my 7-year-old daughter, because she had on a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, the exact same t-shirt I have on now, she wasn't allowed, she told her that she wasn't allowed to be under the foyer. Of course, we didn't accept that. Of course, she never left from under the foyer. Of course, she wasn't going to leave from under the foyer. But the fact that she had the audacity to tell my daughter that she couldn't sit under the foyer because she had a Black Lives Matter t-shirt shows you the mindset that we're dealing with when we deal with these police. Like, you don't even have respect, human nature, for a 6-7-year-old child. You know, you look at a 6 or 7-year-old child as, I don't even know. Like, you want to send her in the hot sun because she had a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on. That's mind-blowing to me. But that's just the framework of what you're dealing with, the mentality that you're dealing with police. Police have taken on, and of course I reported this to her supervisor, which was a male sergeant, and of course he totally ignored me, and he wouldn't even respond to me. He wouldn't even address it because it mattered nothing to him. He is, his position, and as I pointed out to him, I thought your position was to protect and serve me. I'm asking you a question. I'm placing a complaint to you about an officer, and you ignore me and walk away from me, which shows you the lack of respect and the lack of understanding of their position in the scheme of things. We have totally abandoned or given them the reins, free reins over our city, and without holding them accountable at all. So this is the type of mentality that develop because they actually think that they are your gods, and they do not answer to you. You answer to them. You do what they say, when they say, how they say, regardless of whether it's right or wrong. Your job as a human being is to comply with police their will regardless. And this insanity has got to stop. And this insanity is taken from a situation that is as subtle as this, dealing with a 6-year-old child. So you can imagine with the mentality that same police officer and her supervisor would have when dealing with a 15-year-old, 18-year-old child. This is the same mentality. They have absolutely no concern or care, right? So this is what we're dealing with. We was initially, when we got there, we was denied, or attempted to be denied to being on the property. Of course, we didn't comply. Then we was again denied being under the foyer, which of course we did not comply. Then we was attempted to be denied entrance into the Civil Rights Institute. Of course, we did not comply. Then when we got inside the institute, and let me say this, we paid our money to go inside the institute like everybody else was going inside the institute. But they told us we couldn't go inside the institute because we had Black Lives Matter shirts on. But everybody else with all their shirts with representations on it, they can go in and out. So of course we didn't comply. We bought our tickets and we went inside the building with everybody else. As soon as we get to the door of the Civil Rights Institute where the tour start, they tell us that the whole museum is at this point shut down. Nobody can come in the building. Yes, you heard me correct, citizens of Birmingham. They shut down the whole Civil Rights Institute to deny us access into the building. Wow. This is what's going on in Birmingham. This is what's going on. Upon, that information and that position, everybody, us included, and us not knowing where this meeting was anyway, but we left from the inside of it and went back to the foyer where we were, and we continued to congregate there. We continued to inform the people, educate the people, speak to the people about the initiatives and the secrecy and the lack of transparency and the wickedness that these people was plotting and planning inside the building. So we continued business as usual, and then lo and behold, I see a busload of individuals, college students, lining up to go inside the building. Now, again, this is after they said the building was closed. Not directly after, probably about 15, 20 minutes after. So I'm asking a sergeant, or lieutenant, I should say, a matter of fact, a captain, were they going in the building? And he said they was not, but they lining up to go in the building, and the tour guide is taking them in the building. So I said, if they're going in the building, surely I'm going in the building. They tell me I can't go in the building, but they can go in the building. Of course I didn't comply. Of course I got me a ticket, and of course I went right in the building with them. So when I get in the building, the tour guide is telling them what, about the tour. You can watch the movie and then you take the tour. I asked the tour guide, I said, do we have to watch the movie? Can we skip the movie and take the tour? He said yes. So I, after he finished talking, some went to watch the tour. I went to start my tour. All right. The police tell me I can't take my tour. I can't go. I have to stay with the group. I said, brother, the tour guide said I was free to make, to go and view the, take the tour without the group. He told me I could not. Of course, I did not comply. Then this led to four officers. Four officers. Four officers. This is my little man just walked up on me. Hey, say
hey.
Okay, let me finish. Four officers at that point began to follow me. Every step I take, they take. So I turned around and I said, "Excuse me, brother, why are you following me?" He would not respond. And I continued to ask him. He would not respond. And the tour guide, trying to diffuse the situation, he said, "Well, come on, brother, come with me. I'm going to show you which way you go. You go this way." So as we began to walk off, of course, the police began to follow me. And not just the police. It was actually four officers. Two Officer Hills. One white, one black. No. Yeah, two Officer Hills. I can't remember the other officer name. And a recording crew. The Birmingham City of Birmingham, they have a recording crew that walks around and record everything that we do as Black Lives Matter. They document it on video. So they walk around documenting every move we make. So these people are following me. So at this point, I'm like, "Brother, you are harassing me. Why are you following me? I'm trying to enjoy my tour. I don't want you standing over my shoulder while I'm enjoying my tour." He tells me if I keep on talking, something going to happen. You know what's going to happen, which is a direct threat. So at this point, you want me to continue walking through, because at this point I'm by myself, but you want me to walk through these hallways by myself with y'all surrounding me and feel safe? No. So I tell his supervisor. His supervisor tell me he's free to walk wherever he want to walk. So you're going to allow your officer to sit here and verbally threaten me and to physically harass me. This is what we're dealing with in Birmingham, Alabama. You can't speak your mind. You can't have freedom of speech without the police coming down on you in the city of Birmingham with threats and harassment and all this other madness that they're going on. But this is just, I'm just giving you some insight because I think that the people need to know exactly what we're dealing with. Now let's get to the brunt of the situation. What's really going on? What's really going on is this. The city of Birmingham, Chief Roper, Mayor Bell, and all of their conspirators has got with the Attorney General to put down initiatives in Birmingham in order to get their part or portion of a $4.7 million grant that is being allocated for the implementation of these initiatives. In order to get these initiatives in your city has to show that they have a good community police relationship. Birmingham, of course, does not have a good community police relationship because they have absolutely no respect for the citizens, as we know. So what they do is they get they clique, they good boys, who they puppets, and they get who they cherry pick, and we don't know what measure or what rule or what criteria that they use to pick these persons, and they get them, but they hand pick them, they get them, and they take them inside of a closed room to be yes men for them, so they can get their okay from the Attorney General, so that she'll send them this money so they can put down their plan. Now, what is their plan, and how does their how does their puppets benefit from this plan? Answer: I don't know, because they had not told me. Now my thoughts, and we will find out, because we will look into this to find out. My thoughts is this. My thoughts is that I can guarantee you, and you mark my words right here, I can guarantee you 90% of the people in that room who they call community, the community leaders or community organizations, I can guarantee you 90% of them was Christian organizations, Christian preachers, or religious leaders. I can guarantee you that. This is how Birmingham gets down. And I can guarantee you that out of all of those organizations that are in that room, when this money gets allocated to the city of Birmingham, I can guarantee you it's going to find its way into these different church organizations for whatever reason, pretenses that they put up to be able to get that money, whether it be programs that they say they have or they put together, whatever. But their check is going to be cut for all of the cooperation that these people is giving to the city of Birmingham to conspire for what? Against our youth. Now, this is the killer part. What are they conspiring for, and what are the checks getting handed out for? These checks are getting handed out for the cooperation with them in the city of Birmingham to racially profile and to mass incarcerate our children. Now, these are going to be the same preachers, pastors, and leaders that are going to be in these pulpits and on these microphones talking about how much they love you, love God, and love the city of Birmingham, and all the while they're behind doors in private selling your children for money. This is the reality of what's going on in Birmingham. Now, what's the bright spot? The bright spot is this: no justice, no peace. If we continue to press forward, if we continue to mobilize, if we continue to reveal, pull the veil from over this wickedness that they're doing, if we continue to press, they would not have the liberty, they would not have the freedom to put down the stuff that they're putting down. But we have to be proactive. We have to get out here. The last thing they want is what they see when they see us, which is disruptive, combative, resistance to what they're trying to do. And no, you cannot take the easy way. No, you cannot take the soft way. No, you cannot work with them in order to get what needs to be done, because they are not with us. We must understand our position in this thing. I am not a politician. I am not the head of any organization. I am a part of a movement. Therefore, I'm looking for, nor do I want any money from you. You cannot pay for my voice, because my voice is not for sale. My voice is for the youth and the people of Birmingham. My voice is for black people in particular, but people in general around the board. Who is in most need of help in America and in the city of Birmingham? It is me, my people, the African American people of Birmingham are those who are in the most need. My voice is for them. My voice is not for sale. We have to stand up on that principle and not budge and not comply, not work with, not compromise that position. If we're standing on the truth, which we are, there's no need to compromise. The only people who compromise is someone who's standing on the wrong. You go to court and you compromise, either for one or two reasons. Either you did it or you're afraid. I'm not afraid and I'm not wrong, so I will not compromise. And that's the attitude that we have to have. We have to be a body, though. The more people we get to stand with us, that stand against this, the more, the better. It will be mandatory that they comply, because they will have no choice but to comply. This is what I need you to understand, people. Protesting, we're not doing a protest where there's just singing and dancing and getting along to get along. No, that is not what's going on here. Our protest is in opposition to this government, is in opposition to wrong. If it's wrong being done, we standing up against it and we speaking out loud. We're educating our people, we're mobilizing our people, and we're going head on with this enemy. And we got to understand that we have an enemy, and this enemy is wrapped in the guise of a system called government and government policies. And every time they come with a policy, they put it in place and make it systemic. Now it becomes a systemic, and then it becomes affect us. And it's hard to get around it once it gets to that point. So we have to get on board. We have to go out here and do this work. You have to get out here in these streets. You have to bump heads. You have to be willing to sacrifice the comfort of your lifestyles and what you're doing. You have to get out of that and be able to get in these streets if you really care about your future. And when I say your future, I'm not talking about yourself, because your life is very short. When I'm talking about your future, I'm talking about your children and your grandchildren, because they're going to be the ones who's left here to deal with the same madness if we don't do nothing about it. So with that, I'd like to say I'm your brother. I'm here. I'm fighting. We are fighting. Black Lives Matter as an organization, as a movement. We are fighting. We're out here on the front lines, but we're out here for you. We need your help. We need you to come with us and get out here and demand, not ask, not beg, but demand that these people, that are our so-called leaders, do right by us and do right by our children. And with that, I say peace, and y'all be blessed.